Welcome to Skyrim Mods Monthly, the series where I showcase hot and trending mods. But before we get into it,
what's a simpleton like you doing here?
Khajiit heard you were the Prince of Bargains. This one is looking for a new PC. Something fast, with lots of memory.
Yes, I have just the thing. Apex gaming PCs have computers so fast, it'll make your head spin.
This one thinks this sounds good. What's the catch?
Just a small favor, really. But it's going to cost you greatly.
Clavicus Vile never actually told us what the price was. But you can check out my page at Apex Gaming PCs and get yourself a PC with the capabilities to play a heavily modded Skyrim. Also, don't forget to use code MERN at checkout for up to $250 off your next purchase. J-Serpa has recently released Skyrim on Skooma. This mod transforms Skooma into the infamous recreational substance it was always meant to be. Now every time you take Skooma, you'll be absolutely zoinked out of your gourd, and hallucinate up to 69 possible scenarios, including turning into a Skooma bomb, extreme time altering, becoming Heisenborn, being able to talk to dogs, experiencing an average Minecrafter's field of vision, and finding the Elder Scrolls equivalent of the backrooms. Trips are very diverse, with thousands of variations of visual and auditory effects. One trip might be relaxing and soothing, while another might have a completely different vibe. But you'll want to be cautious as there are consequences to a Skooma hedonistic playstyle. Each time you ingest Skooma, there's a 1 in 4 chance you'll become addicted and experience withdrawal. Withdrawal effects sap you of your health, stamina, and magicka. They also unlock the superpower of being able to beg other NPCs for Skooma. Thankfully, withdrawal symptoms don't last very long, but I personally like to treat them by ingesting even more Skooma. Overall, this mod adds a lot of fun to role-playing a Skooma-addled Dragonborn, with neat little Easter eggs and even mini-quests. J-Serpa is also working on remote interactions. This mod grants the player an ability to interact with NPCs at a distance. You can call out for other NPCs if you're struggling to find them, command followers from a distance, provoke, taunt, and even intimidate enemies during combat to have them flee. It also allows you to surrender yourself to guards. Being integrated in a simple and intuitive manner, remote interactions is both handy and immersive, so keep your eyes peeled for its release next week. Bandits in vanilla Skyrim are about as interesting as Breton lore. Lawless intends to fix that by introducing 13 new bandit archetypes inspired from previous Elder Scrolls games, all with their own strengths and weaknesses. Berserkers are skilled in one-handed and light armor. They're glass cannon builds that also deal and receive additional damage below half health. While not dealing a lot of damage, sorcerers rely on their defensive capabilities. Donning full heavy armor, they act like tanks, protecting front lines for their allies. Rogues are agile and precise. They use daggers laced with poison and are quick on their feet. You'll want to look out for these formidable foes. A new tiering system has also been implemented to give bandits perks appropriate to their class and making them more of a threat late game. Additionally, it adds new bandit boss types you can encounter in the world. With new bandit variations, it's a lot of fun to adapt to different challenges throughout your adventure. Ferrum Nibenis is a new Imperial-themed armor set from Lawless, and the first image on the mod page goes so hard it looks like an album cover. Being based on the Imperial Nibenis that descended from the Needs, this armor reflects their culture and appreciation for magic, art, commerce, and spirituality. My favorite set from this pack by far is the Mothweave set. It looks so clean. It comes with a sleek helmet design that reminds me of Melania. All armors also include physics, and small details like chains on helmets and face cloth being able to move are fantastic. Additionally, a sword and warhammer have been made to complement these armors. I can't wait to see what Lawless comes up with next. Dismember those Chaurus adds a 50% chance for Chaurus to shatter into a dozen pieces upon death. While not only immersive, it is incredibly satisfying and adds some fun to Falmer dungeons. If you're interested, there's another mod from the same author that adds this feature to mudcrabs. Sneak Behavior Extensions adds a prone and crawling system to Skyrim and will change the way you approach sneaking. You can go prone to muffle nearly all movement sound and make yourself 50% harder to detect, at the cost of reduced movement speed and the inability to use weapons. The author, Monitor, has also been working on Sneak Extensions, a work-in-progress mod geared to improving sneaking immersively. Groups of NPCs will now increase their search radius, scaling off how many NPCs are in the group. This realistically makes hiding from an entire Imperial regiment much more difficult than just one singular NPC. Additionally, pickpocket chances will be calculated differently to be less skill-based and more context-based, with dozens of different variables like how dark it is, whether the player is wearing gloves or not, and how many NPCs are nearby all have an effect on pickpocket chance. An option can also be enabled to hide pickpocket percent for full immersion. But be careful with sneaking around, because you won't detect NPCs that have a higher sneak skill than you. You might think you're about to pull off the most devious lick of the ages, only to have the local geriatric beggar snitch on you. Doors and containers and any interactive objects all give off sound events that NPCs can detect, so you'll want to be more methodical when sneaking around. There's even a dynamic disguise system being worked on to allow the player to infiltrate other factions. Overall, Sneak Extensions adds a lot of details to make sneaking in Skyrim actually challenging and rewarding. Monitor has also updated B.O.O.B.I.E to include brand new air assassinations. They can be triggered when jumping on top of hostiles while wielding the Hidden Blade, and this opens up at least a dozen new ways I can creatively kill Nazim. I never thought this mechanic would be possible in Skyrim, but here we are. If you're curious to try Sneak Extensions or B.O.O.B.I.E, be sure to support Monitor on Patreon. B.O.O.B.I.E.S is a new mod to join the ranks of super handy mods you probably should have, despite the fact they're acronyms a 13-year-old would write. This mod adds new icons to the inventory menu for armor, weapons, and miscellaneous items, with colors to distinguish between different schools of magic, Daedric gear, and heavy, light, and non-armored gear. Sirenroot is a soon-to-be-released quest mod that features a puzzle dungeon with choices and consequences. You'll quest through a water-focused dungeon with the new Ayleid tileset from the Creation Club, with over 50 custom models. It takes around 2 to 5 hours to complete, and after having played a preview build of the mod myself, I'm glad to say it was quite enjoyable, featuring full voice acting.
Hey! There's no time. There's a pack of undead right on my trail.
Self-produced background music and cutscenes. I could fully immerse myself into the quest and experience new bizarre puzzles in this mysterious dungeon. Just be sure to bring some water-breathing potions or spells to avoid drowning. Gods and Worship is an immersive overhaul of religion in Skyrim, and makes both the Divines and Daedra have a much greater presence in Skyrim. Worshipping them devoutly leads to unique rewards for the player, and you can progress through 5 devotional ranks to gain unique abilities. For example, Hermaeus Mora worshippers may be granted knowledge of a powerful lost artifact hidden somewhere in the world when making an offering at a shrine, while those worshipping Sheogorath may equip random hats after offering at his shrine instead. But all Divines and Daedra have their own values and personality, so you'll need to know how to lose or win favor if you want to ascend devotional ranks. Praying and offering gifts universally gives you favor with all deities, but certain quests affect favor differently across the board. For example, all the Divines will shun you if you destroy the Dawn Guard, but Molag Bal will love you for it. As you understand and grow closer to your deity, they will send you on a pilgrimage quest to visit their holy places throughout Skyrim and Solstheim. After completing your pilgrimage, your deity will telepathically communicate a vision of Et Ada Temple with you, kicking off a quest to acquire a new player home that also doubles as the head of operations for your new cult. Gods and Worship is an interesting take on religion in Skyrim, and is great for role-playing any character. Redbag's Rorikstead envisions Rorikstead to include Icelandic turf houses. This makes sense considering Skyrim is cold, and turf housing has good insulation. Interiors have also been modified to match the new buildings, and some guard towers can be found around the perimeter of the village. Overall, I think it's quite fitting for Rorikstead, it being a simple farming village at all. Redbag's Falkreath fully overhauls Falkreath with new residential houses, guard towers, gates, walls, and NPCs. It even features a new arena where you can earn coin by challenging other warriors, and is implemented in an intuitive way with no loading screens. I feel both city overhauls lean much more towards reality than fantasy, so they're perfect for those putting together a realism mod list. So I've been playing Morrowind recently. I've managed to get into it despite the clunky melee combat and walls of text, and I found Morrowind's world just has that charm to it that makes you want to go out, explore, and quest. I think a big part of this was Morrowind's world building and atmosphere. However, after hopping back over to Skyrim, I felt Solstheim was missing some of that atmosphere. It just doesn't feel very different to Skyrim. But thankfully, Mihail has made a few mods to add some of Morrowind's strange fauna to Solstheim, making it feel unique. Kagoutis and Guars are both bipedal reptiles native to Morrowind and Blackmarsh. Kagoutis are armored and feature large tusks. They usually travel alone and are fairly aggressive. Avoid them. They are evil. Guars, on the other hand, are usually unaggressive and are the main domesticated herd animal of the Dunmer. Coming in all sorts of different breeds, they are lovely, intelligent creatures. This mod adds a few rideable Guars, puts some Redbag guards on Guars, a new disease for Morrowind, and even a cute little companion for B.O.B.I.E.S to match his appearance in Morrowind. If you enjoyed this mod, I'd also highly recommend you try out Bantam Guars from Mihail to breathe even more life to your game. Though small, these mods bring that extra charm from Morrowind to help strengthen Solstime's atmosphere. Thanks for sticking till the end. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Consider grabbing some merch and supporting the channel on Patreon. My patrons help me produce the videos you're watching while I study at uni. Take care, lads and lasses, and I'll see you next time.